I'm ballin', I'll run it up. The only thing that they running is out of luck. Won't settle for nothing but number one. Stay true to the game, boy, you know what's up. So cold with the game, I should be in the league. They doubting the boy, I'ma make them believe. Determined to give them everything they need. Even if I've been breaking bleed, man. All of my life's where I've been on a mission, man. All of my life's where I've been had a vision. I told them my dreams, but they never listened. So I had to stop wishing they had to go get it. And now that I'm up, I seen all haters plummet. And now that I'm ballin', I've been getting buckets. See me and my team, we've been causing a ruckus. Just know I'ma get it, that's the end of the discussion.
What is up, sports fans, people who just like to hear me rant, and everyone in the subcategories? I am Alex Himes. You know what time it is. It's time to cause a ruckus. We are back in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky. I know I always say it, but it's the truth. Well, that is when it's not raining. Let me just put it like that, because this place, it turns into a madhouse. And also, people don't know how to drive in this city when it's raining. It's remarkable. I thought LA drivers in the rain were bad, but clearly, you know, I was missing something when I came out here. So, with that said, we're going to jump right into it. And today we're going to talk about the first thing that I like to always talk about on the show, and that is the NBA, people. It is finally back. It's great to have these players back on the court. Well, at least for the, preseason games, I should say. And we've had many debuts. All right, let's get down to the brass tacks on this one. And the sign behind me kind of says it all. Welcome back, Gordon Hayward. It's been a year of anticipation. It's been a year of building. It's been a year of watching this young Celtics core guide this team to a Game 7 against LeBron James and the Cavaliers, whom they should have beaten that Game 7, but that's neither here nor there. This squad played without Kyrie and Gordon, and we finally got to see them on the floor for a full game, and thankfully, 2 games have passed already, of which one was a loss, the other was a win. The win coming in Beantown, where it's meant to be, especially with Gordon back on the court. Gordon, I want to take a moment before I go into all this. I am so happy to see you back on the court. I've been following your recovery. I've been following Haywatch, brought to you by The Jump, hosted by Rachel Nichols. Shout out to Rachel Nichols for that one. That stuff is hysterical. Watching Gordon Hayward's body jump around on, superimposed on Hasselhoff is hysterical. I look forward to that every week. And here we are, after all these workout videos, after all the things that you've had to go through, you are finally back. Bless you. Let's get this Banner 18 going. This quest is started. Now, Hayward scored 10 points in the first game, which was a loss, in 23 minutes, and scored 4 points in 21 minutes in the win in Beantown. Now, I want to start off by debunking this myth that apparently people seem to have, and especially my co-show host, Michael, about how there's not going to be enough balls to go around for this squad. Mind you, I've said over and over and over again, this Celtics squad is perfecting the system that Golden State has taught the rest of the NBA, where it's selfless basketball, where interchangeable. You have X player and you can insert them at any position and still get high quality production, as if you're really not getting rid of your starters or putting in what used to be referred to as the guys who hold the game or the fort down while the starters get their rest. We have guys that are so deep. This squad is a 15-man deep roster. Okay, maybe not literally, but we have a stacked bench, of which houses players who considerably could be starters on other squads. Morris, Smart, Rozier. I mean, come on. These guys are just a couple of the names I could list off. But right now, this squad in particular is going to have to take time to get these kinks out. It's going to be a little bit of a mesh period, kind of similar to what the Lakers are going through right now, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But what I mean is it's going to take time for these guys to build the rapport necessary to get this squad and this team really active and understand their playing styles, understand the Brad Stevens system. I mean, Hayward has a jump on this just from the time when he played with him at Butler. But right now, all these other guys are still getting used to the fact that, oh, wait, Kyrie and Gordon are actually on the court. And last year, we didn't even project Jason Tatum as a starter, and here he is starting alongside Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Gordon, and Kyrie. This squad is stacked at every position, and this is why I've said countlessly over and over again, and I will continue to say this until we get to that point where the Celtics will play the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals, and they will win against the Golden State Warriors in potentially 6 games, in my personal opinion. But that's just that's my little spiel on that. But the evidence is there, and the proof is in the pudding. 5 players were in double figures in the Boston win, okay? 2 of which were coming from the bench. The bench accounted for 56 of 115 points scored by the Celtics. And, of course, it's preseason, but there are barometers that should be measured. This bench unit is insanely stacked at every position. When I say interchangeable, I mean, you guys, we've seen it last year. Put Terry Rozier in the starting lineup. Look what he was able to do. Put Jason Tatum in the starting lineup in place of Hayward. Look what he was able to do. Smart as well. I mean, like, the list goes on and on and on. Last year taught us that the bench, the players that we have in-house that were supposed to be bench players, are capable of starting in the NBA. And if anything, that should tell us that adding back their main pieces is only going to make this squad stronger, which is why I don't understand these arguments about, oh, there aren't enough balls to go around. I don't know how it's going to work out, the offensive chemistry. Look, we've already seen that. Kyrie played with LeBron James, all right? That man is a ball-dominant player, which forced Kyrie to play off guard. Now that he's on the court, he gets to play pure point guard, gets to distribute the ball a little bit more. He knows when he wants to pick his spots. He doesn't have to be that guy every night that goes and scores 25 a game. He can be the dude that scores 20, gets maybe 8 assists, maybe gets 3 or 4 rebounds, filling the stat sheet in different ways, just as Gordon's going to understand, hey, I don't need to be a guy that scores 20 every night. We got Tatum, we have Brown, we have Rozier, we have all these other guys who can do this. And let's not discredit the fact that Al Horford is still the most consistent man on this roster. I'm telling you, no one ever mentions it, but Big Al is the most consistent man on this roster for being available, being a force down low, and a guy that is going to get you at minimum 12 points, as well as collecting a ton of rebounds and dishing out the ball offensively. Like, we don't really understand or value how much Al Horford means to the Celtics organization. But right now, Big Al, I am telling you, I am here to appreciate you. I am stoked for this Celtics season. Welcome back, G. Hayward. Let's get this going. And now the other debuts that I want to talk about right now are LeBron and the Lakers, because, of course, this was the most anticipated debut in the NBA, at least this season. So, LeBron on the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, my gosh, people. Never did I ever think this day would come. I never thought that I would see LeBron in a Laker uniform, nor am I still used to the idea that he is. I mean, honestly, when I say it's going to take some time to get used to, I'm probably going to need at least a couple months, a couple beers, and a lot of counseling or therapy on that note. But LeBron dropped 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a 124 loss, to the Denver Nuggets. All right. As we've always said, preseason generally means nothing. It gives us time to really let normally the assistant coaches take over, coach these teams, give the bench guys and the newcomers and rookies a lot of time to start developing chemistry with some of the people they'll be playing with generally in the rotation, as well as figuring out the rotation itself. Well, we got to see Luke Walton coach a LeBron-led Lakers team last night. I got to tell you, I am a diehard Celtics fan, and I've stated that I like seeing the Lakers play well in the West because it means the NBA will be better off as a whole, and it gives the Celtics something to look forward to down the road in the postseason, which the Lakers are at least 1 year away from. But that's neither here nor there. LeBron James had a good night. I was waiting for him to score his first bucket, and when they got, what was it? It was an offensive rebound that turned into, I think, Rondo dishing it out to LeBron, who took that three-pointer. And as soon as it left his hands, I'm like, that's going in. That's money in the bank. Went right in. Didn't even, or at least barely touch the rim in the net. All right. LeBron on the Lakers is going to take some getting used to, but there are a bunch of other solid points from this loss, honestly. Lance Stevenson looked great. That first opening play where Rondo threw the alley-oop to McGee, what a way to open a game. I mean, come on. People have been waiting for this debut and these games to occur for so long. I myself have been finding that I've been watching baseball more and more, and that's no knock against my Red Sox. I'm a Boston supporter through and through, but let's be real. Like, if I'm having to watch baseball, clearly I'm lacking some sports entertainment in my life at that very moment. So watching LeBron play with these guys, it got my eyes' attention from the start to the finish. And the most amazing part to me actually didn't even come from the Lakers. It came from Denver, who had 5 of their bench players scoring in double figures, especially with Hernan Gomez. I mean, Hernan Gomez looked like he was dominating guys out on the court for a guy that I got to be honest, I haven't been paying too much attention to, or haven't been paying too much attention to since that game. And now it gives me someone else to look forward to and watch throughout the season, which, I mean, come on. That's what it's about, finding new guys and paying attention to new players that you wouldn't otherwise note. Now, The last debut I want to cover is Kawhi Leonard in the Raptors, which was by far the second most anticipated debut this coming NBA season, behind LeBron. Of course, if Kawhi ended up on the Lakers with LeBron, it probably would have been something like a pairing, and it would have been nuts, and I probably would have cried a little bit because I don't want to see that. But here we are. Kawhi got to play in a Raptors uniform for the first time. He scored his first jumper on a sweet elbow jumper and then went back to back with that move, causing an ankle breaker and getting the same jumper, and it looks silky smooth. The man looks ready to go. It looks like there was never an injury to begin with. He scored 12 points in 19 minutes, all right? I myself was super hyped for this. Especially the Raptors, they got to be hyped for this because now they have the second best player in the NBA when healthy, people. Mind you, when healthy. They have a grade A star to pair with Kyle Lowry, and that's no knock against DeMar DeRozan. I loved him. I loved him on the Raptors. I thought that legacy that he left there is beautiful, and it was great watching him in that uniform. Great story all around, but let's be real. He is not a grade A guy. He is not the guy that's going to be the closer for you at the end of games. He is a second option for the best player on the team, which, I mean, he's found a great situation in San Antonio, and I wish him the best there, but Toronto is really benefiting from this. But most of my confusion, I gotta admit, was from Jonas Valanciunas. All right, this guy came off the bench, and it looks like the Raptors are starting to do what the latest trend in the NBA is, which is to go small. So they had Valanciunas come off the bench with Serge Ibaka starting. Valanciunas dropped 17 and 9 in 19 minutes of work. All right. Now, mind you, one of the most ridiculous moments from that game actually happened to be from Valanciunas when he started to go from the top of the three-point line, playing like a point guard, took a guy off the dribble to the basket and scored it. Like, let me tell you something. For all the people on the Toronto Raptors roster that I expected to do a move like that, it would have never been from Jonas Valanciunas. And if he keeps up this play, I anticipate that at some point he could potentially be in the starting lineup, maybe not taking out Serge, maybe moving CJ Miles out and moving Serge to the power forward, whatever they end up doing. But Valanciunas was anticipated to be a big part of the Raptors organization when he was drafted there. Although Dwayne Casey isn't there anymore and it's a different system and regime, I do think Nick Nurse will see the potential and value of having him in the starting lineup when they're going against some of the Eastern Conference teams in particular, given that they have some of the bigger guys over there, and also just the teams are overall bigger in my personal opinion. But that's just me talking. All right, now in other NBA news, we're going to the man that makes more appearances on the show than anyone, pretty much anyone that we ever discuss on this program, and that is Anthony Davis. Yes, the man who I keep going back and forth on this dance with regarding whether or not the Celtics, won't they trade for him? It's like watching that show Love Boat. Like, will they, won't they? I mean, like, we never really know, but I guess we'll find out at some point because it has to happen. Well, the odds for the AD sweepstakes have arrived. The odds shark on Twitter tweeted it out, and guess who has the lead? I'll read you the numbers, though. The Lakers are a minus 190. My Celtics, plus 250. New Orleans, plus 300. And Golden State is plus 750. All right. Now, does this really come to any surprise to anyone? It shouldn't. I mean, AD just signed with, who? LeBron's agent. So if that doesn't point anything about the direction of things and where things might potentially go, I mean, I could be overanalyzing things. It's the NBA. We always speculate. We always overanalyze every little move. We always overanalyze every meme or tweet LeBron James has, whatever cryptic stuff comes out there. But let's just face it. We already have known that Anthony Davis is not happy in New Orleans. He wants to be playing on a championship contender, and he doesn't necessarily view that in New Orleans. And if the report from Stephen A. Smith that came out just a day or two ago is true, AD really doesn't want to play with the Pelicans anymore. So that only adds fuel to the fire. Now, mind you, I've reported on this for at least 2.5 years already. I've already given my input way back in the day. I said the Celtics should make a move for Anthony Davis. And of course, the Celtics are always tied to every other star in the NBA because they have a plethora of draft picks in the upcoming drafts. They have a lot of young and upcoming talent on cheap rookie deals. And there's like Danny Ainge is just the best GM in basketball. Let's just throw that out there. No disrespect to the Spurs with R.C. Buford. He does a magical job keeping the Spurs organization in the playoff hunt every year, other than last year. Oops. But in general, Danny Ainge, like, doing that KG Pierce trade with the Brooklyn Nets should solidify him at least in the top 3 GMs of all time. Let's just leave that there. And with that said, it doesn't surprise me the Celtics are actually second on this list. If anything, it makes complete sense. The Lakers deserve to have the number 1 spot because next season they can go after anyone in free agency, mind you, as well as they have so many assets that are valuable across the NBA. Kuzma, Ingram, and Ball, even Josh Hart are valuable assets that can be turned into a big-name stud that's especially looking to get out of a situation that he's not happy in. Mind you, Anthony Davis has not publicly said he is unhappy with the Pelicans, but body language speaks big overtones. All right. Body language says everything. The Pelicans had Rajon Rondo, and I've said this already. Rondo was the reason why they pushed into the playoffs, why they were able to be so formidable last season. They had a guy who could dish out the ball to any player necessary, led the league, I believe, in assists last season, revived himself. Playoff Rondo turned himself back in time like he was in Boston, balled out with them, and what happened? They let him go. And of course, you know, Drew Holiday showed up in the offseason as well, but in the postseason as well last year. But having Rondo along with Drew Holiday was a great tandem. It was a both lockdown perimeter defender guards who Rondo has started to develop his shot, can dish out the ball, and Drew Holiday was an offensive stud already. AD has all the reasons to go to Los Angeles. He gets to play with a guy that most people want to play for in LeBron James. He gets to be in Los Angeles. He gets to be paid the big bucks potentially. And if they do keep Rondo, in fact, he has a teammate or ex-teammate there that could convince him to come in the first place. All right. Like, all the moves point for the Lakers being number 1. The Celtics, of course, being number 2. I've given my spiel on that. The Pelicans could be intrigued by some of the young assets the Celtics have, although I don't know the situation because Al Horford could potentially be a free agent that walks, as well as, you know, we've heard these Kyrie Irving rumors, which I've put to rest. Check my previous videos, watch and listen to my previous shows. I'm not going into it. Kyrie's not leaving Boston. He said it himself practically with that Rachel Nichols interview. Let's leave it there. End of story. Now, number 3 on the list is the Pelicans. I don't think that they should have the 3rd spot. If anything, I think they should be lower than Golden State because Golden State, after taking DeMarcus Cousins and signing him, I put them on the same level with the Lakers and the Celtics in that they will surprise anyone and they can sign practically anyone whenever they want to. So not on the same level in terms of betting odds, definitely the Lakers and the Celtics, but I think that the Pelicans would be number 4 on that list, if any. I mean, I just don't see this relationship and bond being repaired at this point with the Pelicans. But who do I know? Well, actually, what do I know is really what I meant to say. Now, on to another funny topic in the NBA, and this one is just hysterical to me. It is the NBA versus J.R. Smith. What would you think this would be over? Tweets to people, saying stuff to fans, the infamous non-timeout call, although that'd be freaking hysterical if it was. But no, it's over a tattoo on this man's calf. All right? Yes, you heard that right. A tattoo. J.R. Smith got the brand Supreme's logo tattooed on his calf. A full-size Supreme logo, which honestly, I love Supreme stuff, so I think it's badass. But he's not shy about getting ink on his body, and apparently the NBA didn't like this because right after the man got the tattoo that matched his lifestyle, Supreme, the NBA contacted J.R. Smith and told him they want it covered during games, okay? Now, let's start from the NBA perspective. I get why. I mean, practically, I get why. You are a industry or a business that is set on making money. Why would you want to give free advertising, mind you, on air, live television advertising, potentially photo shoots, whatever you want to say, or add into the marketing of that, to Supreme when you're not making any money off of it, right? I mean, it only makes sense. If anything, you'd want Supreme to pay some type of royalty, something to appease you, especially because you're giving them on-air distribution. Now, let me go to the J.R. Smith side of things, all right? J.R. Smith plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Aside from it being his body and he can do whatever the heck he wants with it, he can put whatever artwork he wants on it, he can do whatever he wants on it, and no one can tell him otherwise. The man is on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who just lost LeBron James, mind you. That means they are not going to be a team that's regularly nationally televised, okay? Let me say that again. The Cleveland Cavaliers are not going to be a team that's regularly nationally televised. So that whole idea of, giving free advertising, on-air distribution and everything and marketing towards Supreme, the brand itself, really went from, if you got it last year, like that much to like territory of the world's smallest violin, okay? The Cavs are not really going to be on nationally televised games anyway, so realistically, why are you butting your nose into what is his body? I truly understand from a business perspective that the man got a logo tattooed on his body and you don't want to give free advertising, but really, it's the Cavaliers, man. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it's J.R. Smith. The man has already been made a meme because of the failed timeout attempt in the NBA Finals, okay? He's already been made a meme. Let him do what he wants. Let him live his life. If anything, let him do this and give something to Cleveland because really at this point with LeBron leaving the market, their market's about to go. So anything helps Cleveland right now, especially J.R. Smith with a body tattoo of a brand. It could turn into something where the Cavaliers get something out of it. I don't know, but let the man have it and leave the Cleveland Cavaliers alone. They've already had enough problems this offseason as is. All right. Now, we're going to the last tail end of the NBA section, and I want to talk about Rondo and Lonzo Ball in Los Angeles. So what's the plan now? The Lakers decided to go with Rajon Rondo as the starting point guard in the preseason games, and we've since been told that Rondo will be the definitive starter for now, and the reason was Lonzo is recovering from an injury. I believe that half-heartedly. They want to give him the best chance to recover fully, come back on the court when he's ready, especially if you have a guy who's ready already to play the starting point guard spot, has experience, yada, yada, it's understandable. But playoff Rondo, he came back last season. Or, wait, was it LeBron James just getting what he wants? No. Rondo has proven the fact that he deserves to be the Lakers starting point guard for a multitude of reasons, all right? Rondo went up against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers for years with the Boston Celtics, meaning this man has so much experience playing against LeBron that he understands his game offensively and understands the systems that he plays within. Well, that makes complete sense why you'd want him as the starting point guard. I mean, if the guy knows his offensive game oh so well, you'd want him guiding the offense that will have LeBron in it. On top of it, Rondo somehow has managed to become a better shooter overall. The man has a ring with the Celtics. He's gone against LeBron for years. He has experience of deep playoff runs. He was the reason why the Celtics, the aging Celtics, were able to go into the playoffs and have deep playoff runs, putting them on his back and whatnot. He is a defensive-minded point guard. I am totally in favor of Rajon Rondo starting for the Los Angeles Lakers, and it makes complete sense why they would agree with that too. LeBron wants the best possible options on the court with him to win basketball games. So what does that mean? You put a man who has a developed shot, a defensive-minded guy, a guy who can get the ball in all the right spots for you in the game, which we saw against the Denver Nuggets, at least in the first half of how things were going for them. Rajon Rondo is the right player to start for the Los Angeles Lakers at point guard, and if anything, it'll help Lonzo Ball out down the road as he develops more as a point guard and gets to learn under the tutelage of the 17th banner raiser, Rajon Rondo. Thank you, Rondo. You're on the Lakers, but you are the only Celtic ever, and when I say ever, I mean definitively ever, that can go from wearing the Celtic green and white to go to the Lakers and avoid all the hatred that would come with that move. So salute to you. Unless you win a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers, then we'll have to talk and reassess after that. Now, finally, for the last part of the show, I want to talk about the Big Baller brand, which is back in the news. All right. Today, I got to see the funniest video that I've seen in a while, and that's of Lamelo Ball with the JBA in Lithuania playing a game. So here's the footage. All right, so if it wasn't clear enough, LaMelo went to drive to the basket and on the play was fouled. Now, after the foul occurs, the player who fouled him went over and it looks like lightly tapped the side of his head. I don't know why. Maybe giving him a wet willy, maybe giving him a, what's going on, man? What was that for? I don't understand. Well, Lamelo didn't take too kindly to this and promptly cocked his hand back and slapped the living masculinity out of this man's body. I mean, every drop, every ounce just straight off of his body into the audience somewhere else. And immediately after that happened, it turned into a fight of those inflatable arm tube flailing dudes at the car dealerships, just arms flailing everywhere. And it ended with Lamelo getting ejected. All right. Now, of course, this brawl had to get bigger like it did. And, you know, it was way overblown in the media, and it's going to be way overblown even more so because it's the Ball family, even more so because his brothers had issues. But come on, like, really, you're going to slap a dude, especially when you're back in Lithuania where you already don't have a good reputation nor a good vibe with? Learn something from your brother Lonzo, okay? This man managed to avoid everything that your dad brought on him, meaning the bad media, the bad press. He did it all right. He made sure to keep his nose out of everything, just keep his head down, do work, do basketball, and that's all he needed to do. And look, it led to a great rookie season, averaging 10, 7, and 7. And of course, yes, he's no longer the starting point guard for the Lakers, but when you get LeBron James and Rajon Rondo, it kind of makes things a little bit more difficult for you. So, LaMelo, I'm sending you my best wishes. I'm hoping that this doesn't become an issue for you or backfire in any way, shape, or form. But, man, don't slap someone like that. Like, that hurt me watching that. That hurt me. I watched that man's spirit fly out of him. Oh, God, people. All right, and on that note, everyone, we're going to end the show today. Thank you for tuning in. You already know what this is. This is the Ruckus with Alex Himes. Don't forget to check out Alexander Himes on YouTube. Don't forget to check out @HimesWorld on Instagram. And don't forget to check out Alexander Himes on Facebook, where you can catch all the show updates, all the crazy content, all the other videos that I film, and everything going on with my everyday life on this show. We have so much more coming for you. I'm very excited, very much anticipating what's next with this program and what we're doing in the next couple months. I've got a lot of great stuff coming for you. I would like to say that at the end of October, I am going to Oklahoma City for the Celtics-Oklahoma game. Catch more of what's going on then. We'll catch you next week, Lexington.
And now that I'm balling, I've been getting buckets. See me and my team, we've been causing a ruckus. Just know I'ma get it. That's in the discussion.